ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
It's weird, and maybe not, maybe it's timely that Trump said what he said about the Smithsonian and its focus on slavery. And Jillian Michaels from The Biggest Loser, she's a fitness person. Why is she, Abby Phillip, why you have these people on your show that don't have the credentials to talk about this is the problem in this country, Kevin Powell. You got people up there that have opinions. Like, so you could pick a child off the damn playground if that's the case, right? You don't have to know anything, but you're going to be on a national platform opening your mouths and saying ridiculous things, and it's creating this rage, this outrage. I don't know where to start with this, but you're writing a piece for Newsweek. Where are you starting in this?
It's funny you say that. I started with the piece starts with Langston Hughes. I too am America. He wrote that piece when he was only 25 years old, about 100 years ago, and it's both it's defiant and it's sad, but it's honest. And I mean, where do I start? You're right. We're platforming a lot of people who are not qualified to talk about anything to do with American history. I mean, sometimes, Karen, I feel like I've been holding back a lot because I like you, I love to read and I know this history. And I'm like, man, enough of this. When you hear people saying, oh, slavery wasn't that bad, I mean, we literally are, I mean, where do we start? You just said it, 1619, 1865. That is 246 years. Then from 1865 to 1877, we have a small window called Reconstruction, 12 years. From 1877 to 1965, Voting Rights Bill. It's really been only 60 years, literally, since 1965. Selma happened, Watts Rebellion happened in this month of August 65. Voting Rights Act was passed in August of 65. 60 years, 60 years, 60 years of, okay, there's some progress here. There's some things that are different than what my mother experienced being born in the 1940s as she was, the stuff she described growing up. That's just 60 years. But we also know that within 10 years, they were already attacking things like affirmative action, even though it was a Republican, Richard Nixon, even though he had a lot of problems, like a lot of problems, he did do some decent things in office, like around the environment, around affirmative action, et cetera. They were attacking all of that. And so really, where do we start? With this, it's literally not just turning back the clock, but we are trying to erase everything that has happened. You know what I mean? We're trying to shut the door all over again. And I think that, we as Black people and anyone who cares about real freedom, real democracy, real justice, we have to keep fighting. We do have to come together. We have to figure out ways to support each other, which is why community, like you said, is important. I smile when I run into people who say, man, I've run into people, Karen, who said, man, I just put my series on Urban View and it's just there all day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, that's what I'm encountering because people need something that they can connect with. And it's important. I'm glad that we've been out there with the film because it's been a way to have conversations with people. But we have to know this history because these folks, why is Jillian Michael able to get away with it? Because we have an unqualified person as president of the United States who should not be president of the United States. He shouldn't even be the CEO of a company. You know what I mean? He inherited, just like we look at Gilded. The reason why the Gilded Age is so important to me is because I'm like, this is about old money versus new money, but also how people inherited their wealth. They inherited their privilege. And then there's a disdain for people that comes with some of these folks who are privileged. There's nothing wrong with being privileged. You can't control how you're born, but what you can control is your sense of humanity. When people are saying things that are not as bad as slavery wasn't that bad, and you just need to get over it and forget it, and why we keep talking about it, because it's still present to this very same day. The fact that we're still talking about Confederate statues, still talking about the Confederate flag, still talking about all kinds of horrific stuff that is monumentalized in this country. That's all rooted in the founding of this country. When I learned, our home state of New Jersey was the last state to actually officially end slavery in January of 1866. I mean, that, I already knew slavery existed in the North, but it's like, wait a minute, okay, here we are. And then I started learning as I was doing my research about all these pockets of Underground Railroad stops in our home state of New Jersey. This is all slavery. This is all slavery. This is all built on the free labor. This country wouldn't exist without the free labor of our ancestors. That's not to make people feel guilty. It's simply to tell the truth. You know what I mean? It's like
So
I
let
don't
me
get bent out of shape when people talk about Anne Frank. I don't get bent out of shape when people talk about what happened to the Italians or the Irish or other folks. I'm like, I need to know that history. I need to know that history because it also helps me to be a better human being and not help to perpetuate that same kind of craziness over and over again. When we try to erase that history, we're basically saying, you know what? We're trying to take it back to what Langston was talking about in that poem in 1926.
So I have a question for everyone,
Yes.
especially people without a lot of melanin. Why do you identify with enslavers? Why, why do you identify? So Jillian Michael went on, she went on Abby Phillips' show
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
CNN and said that only 2% of people own people. So why is this such a big deal? Only 2%. And that's a talking point, by the way, because what it's attempting to do is to say that slavery wasn't that big of an issue because only 2% of people owned people. And they let her get away with that. And, some people have debunked the 2%. I don't care whether it's 2%. I know 100% of it fueled the economy.
Absolutely.
100% of slavery made America great. Okay.
Yeah.
100% of slavery. So Great Britain was able to abolish slavery because they had a system in place to benefit from it. So when we're
That's
talking about
correct.
insurance and worldwide, when we're talking about banking worldwide, the sense of credit, all based on the system of slavery. So whether it was 2% or 92%, it doesn't matter. 100% of this economy was fueled by black bodies
Benefited. Period.
producing tobacco, sugar, cotton, you name it.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow.